Okay, wonderful. So I think I'm going to start us off just by reintroducing myself. I am the proud and privileged principal of Hartford Magnet Trinity College Academy, Julie Goldstein. This is my 10th year in Hartford. It's my second year with HMTCA, and couldn't be more proud than I am this year of all of our students, grateful for our families and for your partnership, and most especially for all of our teachers, and for the extraordinary. I mean, if you thought like I'm a teacher, what's your superpower, was relevant last year and the years before. This year, it's that, on times 10. Teachers are running in-person lessons. They're running um, virtual remote lessons. They're connecting with your students. They're working together. We have teachers who are off-site teaching from outside of the school building. We have teachers in the school building. And just to see, the thing that I think gives me the most pleasure about our high school is the teamwork and the camaraderie at the school. To see that our teachers truly enjoy each other. I could not get more, it just tickles me to see how much our teachers enjoy working together and what comes from that. And I think that that really extends out into their care and love for your children, and that then creates a real community and a feeling of family. And we have some barriers, one of which is why we're meeting on Zoom. And our goal is to continue to overcome those through keeping our school together. For parents whose students are remote learners, I know that you lost at least a full night's sleep, either in one night or combined, making your decision about what was best for your child. And I think the same is true for our parents who have decided that they're going to have their student attend in person. It almost seemed like a lose-lose situation this year, that you were taking some chances and making some sacrifices and compromises, no matter what you do. And that we have not lost sight of that. So this is not a business as usual school year. And at the same time, we do want to do everything we can to give your child the only year that they have as a ninth grader, 10th grader, 11th grader, 12th grader, understanding that this is a special time. I will say one other thing while I'm kind of in front of all of us, which has to do with our well-being. So your child's safety is of utmost importance to us. And when we talk about that, it's through our health, through maintaining our protocols for those of us who are in the building. Not coming to school of all years, right? To think about when we thought, oh, I don't want to go to school today, I'm not feeling well. The answer to that is absolutely, you are correct. Do not come to school. Your child should not come to school if they're not feeling well, even just a little bit. It's not worth it. And we have access to our remote learning options to support your student in that. So please do not send your child into the school if they're not feeling well. And definitely praise and commend and encourage them for the great job that they are doing with wearing their masks, keeping hands clean away from their faces, and maintaining that social distance, while also trying to, enjoy their year. What I just said, if someone said, you're going to be talking about these things, like wearing a mask and keeping your hands ridiculously clean and away from the face, a year ago, I would have just fallen over not knowing what you're talking about. And yet now I know some of us have dreams about these, that they forgot the mask. Some of us have stood in front of the mirror trying on different ones to see what looks right for the day and does it match what I want to wear and my mood, all kinds of things. And that's a very light version of stress, what causes stress and stress management. So we've got to pay close attention ourselves to supporting our children in their stress management, helping us to support you with yours. And we'll do that in different ways. One particular way that I want to just pass along, and I can put a link in the chat for you to take along with you after the meeting, is the concept of what's called the 4 A's, as introduced by the Mayo Clinic, which is a health clinic that's very leader, which is to avoid things as much as you can that cause undue stress, including possibly people who drain your energy or who may not be supporting you, altering your routine and your expectations a little bit in ways that support your well-being, accepting some of the things that the barriers that are there, and giving yourself and your child and us as a school a little bit of slack, a little bit of grace. And I think that that's been very evident. I really appreciate that. And then also adjusting. You have a goal that you want to do something, and sometimes we have to course correct. So those are all things that we'll do together and make this a special year. So with that, I will turn it over to quickly to Mrs. Lalama, who's our one of our founding assistant principals, and then we'll have our departments lead us through what is in store for your child.
Good evening. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our virtual open house for the 2021 school year. I'm Miriam Lalama. I'm the assistant principal of the high school. Proud assistant principal of the high school. Just a couple things for to the families of students that are in the building. It's great to and work with them. To our virtual students, it's been great to see the ones that have stopped in for book pickups, athletics, and dropping a line or an email to us, just keeping in touch. So it's just great to be in the building again, also working with our students. Enjoy meeting our teachers. They have worked extremely hard since March, and I just want to give them all a shout out. And they, again, just reinforcing, they are here for your students in many, many ways. And we all look forward to working together for a successful year.
Hi, Ms. Lalama. How are you?
So I'm Hannah Kaiser. I'm one of the school counselors. I'm going to share my screen, and then we have kind of a PowerPoint that will go with the departments. I just need to be a host, sorry. Okay, so I should mention that I cannot take ownership for this PowerPoint. Ms. Brahman made the whole thing. Okay. Okay, so we just wanted to go very briefly over the school schedule. This is especially important for the remote students. Just so you guys know what the blocks are, you can see on the left for the daily schedule. The schedule on the right is for Wednesdays or any other early dismissal that we will have. And just a reminder that on early dismissal days, our high schoolers do not have lunch. Important note to have. This is the hybrid learning model, which at this point we hope that everyone is familiar with. But if not, the ninth graders, sorry,
I'm sorry, Ms. Kaiser. I don't know if it's anybody else's screen, but this slide did not advance on what I'm viewing.
What are you seeing right now? You don't see the hybrid schedule?
No, I see the opening slide.
It's not in present mode, Hannah.
Can you move your cursor over to play from start?
I did do that. Hang on.
If you close your camera, sometimes it works better.
No, it's what I did was I shared. Just give me 1 second.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
You could see that?
Yes. Okay, wait. you did something and now we're seeing the next slide view and not a big screen. That's it.
So you all see the hybrid learning model?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you, Ms. Kaiser.
Sorry. Thank you for that, though. So again, so the top row, that schedules for the group 8 kids. So 9th graders do come every day, but 10 through 12th graders are coming to school Monday and Tuesday if they're hybrid. And their last names are A through L. Group B are the other half of the alphabet. They come Thursday and Friday. We did just want to make sure that everyone is on the same page in terms of every day is still a school day. It's just a different form of school. So for Group A, Monday, Tuesday is in the building. Wednesday is remote. Thursday and Friday is remote. For Group B, Monday, Tuesday is remote. Wednesday is remote. In person, Thursday and Friday. Okay. So next slide. So you can see the attendance, virtual and hybrid.
Yes.
Yes? Okay,
Yes.
great. Thanks, Mr. C. This is, again, very basic. This is also being recorded, so if you want to go back in, you want to read everything in detail, you are absolutely more than welcome to. But student engagement, basically, 0% is there is no contact. 1 to 49% is a virtual absence. They are engaged in 49% or less of the learning opportunities. 50 to 100, they are present and engaged 50% or more of their learning opportunities. And then there are just examples of different learning opportunities at the bottom, just so that everyone is aware that learning opportunities do not necessarily mean just sitting in front of the teacher in the live classroom. The Google Meets, the other projects, the other coursework and assignments that are assigned have to be completed as well. This is more of a FYI. Our school is going to have the SAT on October 14th. So students grade 11 and 12, both in person and remote, are encouraged to come and take the SAT. We register the kids. I should rephrase that. The seniors take the SAT. The juniors take the PSAT and MSQT. But we register them. We pay for everything. They just have to come to school, come on time. And that is Wednesday, October 14th. There will be more details forthcoming. The important piece, if your child is in grades 6 through 10, so for the people present tonight, it'd be grades 9 and 10, that day is a remote day, okay? October 29th, we are going to flip. So the PSAT is then offered for grades 8 and 9, again, remote kids and in person. So grades 11 and 12 will be remote that day. All right, and again, more information will be coming, but we wanted to put it on everybody's radar now. Okay, so I'm basically just gonna introduce each department, but then the department head will step in and give you an overview and introduce all of their team. So first up is the electives department. Mr. Hasbatcher, are you here?
I'm going to be talking instead of him.
Even better. Go for it, Mr. Jordan.
So welcome, everybody. It's great to see everybody's faces and hear your voices. So I did want to introduce new staff, first of all, and that is Mr. Andrew James. We are very happy to have him aboard. He is recently come from UConn and a year of teaching, and he'll be doing instrumental music and band. I know you're there, Mr. James.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Ed. Hi, everybody.
Hi, hello. And then we have one more new staff. She went to the middle school orientation last night. That's Marissa Bishop, very young teacher, just out of school. And she is taking Miss Hanson's place in the dance department. And looks like she's doing great there. Also, Mr. Keniston, of course, in band and guitar and music tech. Mr. Kramer, phys ed. Miss Logus, art. Miss Munson is art. Mr. Smith and is phys ed. I feel like I'm missing something, but anyway, good. All right, so, oh, and Miss Van Dyne, I'm so sorry. Miss Van Dyne, our theater teacher, who many of you know is already on a production which she intends to do outdoors, and had a huge amount of students come, something like 55 students, which goes to show you our kids are ready to do things and be part of things. But so anyway, all of us are doing our lessons on Google Classroom. And so the kids that are home on the cohort should be busy doing their work, just like the kids in the class are doing. And so everybody has something to do, assignments to do, whether you're in class or at home. It's working fairly well for me. And I imagine for everybody else too. And the other thing I wanted to say was we do have very specific guidelines that we were trained in by Unified Arts, the phys ed, art and music. It did affect music and phys ed quite a bit, but we have to follow the state guidelines. I can't speak to phys ed particularly, but I know they were affected a lot. And so is music. So in other words, in order to make it work for me, I have to sing in Trinity Hall for 30 minutes with 6 feet by 9 feet apart. But we are
Ed, I can jump in there too for PE.
Thank you. Yes, please do.
So as far as weight training is concerned with Mr. Smith, he's able to do weight training traditionally. That they did get the okay to do that, which is great. As far as my PE classes with, and also Ms. Turcott, I purchased Dynabands for all of my in-person students, and they actually keep them. That's the only way that we were able to do that. So these students are responsible to bring those, and they do exercises with them, very similar to weights or stretch cords or things like that. And we do obviously a lot of walking. So that's how we have incorporated this whole COVID thing. And one last thing I'll say: girls soccer 4-1 victory against SMSA tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Kramer. So anyway, we're trying to do our best to follow the guidelines and still have a great year in electives and unified arts. And the kids are responding very, very nicely. So thank you very much.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Jordan.
Sure.
So next up is the English department, and Stephen Tatum will introduce his crew.
Hello, everybody. It's good to have so many of you here. I'm very honored to be able to introduce you to our high school English department. My name is Mr. Tatum. I teach 9th grade, currently teaching in-person classes. Miss Tiffany Moyer Washington, who some of you will know from the 8th grade, is teaching some virtual sections of our 9th grade English 1 course, as well as elective that we teach in the English department on public speaking. She wasn't able to be here tonight, but she did ask me to pass on some words about her course and some points to emphasize for anyone who is a student of hers. She said that attendance during the live meets is very important. She recognizes that many students are completing assignments in Google Classroom, but particularly for her courses, doing that work isn't enough. They've got to attend the live meets as well. And she has everyone working in independent reading books of some kind. There's a partnership with the Hartford Public Library that has made a lot of electronic resources available to students, including ebooks, and she's making great use of those resources. So there's plenty of reading to be done in her class, and I'm sure that's a theme that you'll hear throughout all of our English classes. I'm going to kind of introduce people up through the grades. So Miss Katie Canary is also not with us. She had a volleyball game tonight. I hope we get as good news or result as from the girls' soccer team. She asked me to emphasize that the English 2 class with 10th graders involves a lot of writing, and that the curriculum has been revised this year to include a lot more emphasis on modern texts and newer texts that are high interest for students. Many of her classes are either virtual or hybrid. She wanted to emphasize that classes are meeting every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and that it's expected that students are present there. Wednesdays in her class are devoted to Khan Academy, where students are doing independent work on some skills through that program. Finally, she asked that I name that her grading policy has 70% of the grade made up of essays and assessments, with 30% being made up of homework assignments. Next up, in 11th grade, I'll introduce, I believe she is on the call, Mrs. Eileen Flaherty.
I am, Mr. Tatum. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I teach Literature and Composition 1, which is 11th grade English, and AP Language and Composition, also an 11th grade level class. There is a mix of face-to-face hybrid and distant learning classes, and much of what I have to say this evening is an echo of what my colleagues have brought to your attention. English is reading and writing, and your students are doing that every time we meet. Our class is set up so that it is skill-based. They are learning and then practicing writing and reading skills. It is, as I believe Ms. Moyer Washington said and reiterated by Mr. Tatum, vital for students to attend class, whether that is face-to-face or over their computer. It's more important than ever, especially with hybrid, where some students have only 2 days with their teacher. There's work to be done all of 5 days, as Ms. Kanairi outlined, and the 70%, 30% is true in my class as well. I have one last thing to say, and it's especially true in the Literature and Composition class, but also in AP Lang. It's very difficult to fail 11th grade English. We give students many, many opportunities, and we're here to work with your students. And really, if they do the work, they will be successful. So your support in that regard would be really appreciated. Thank you.
Thanks, Mrs. Flaherty. Next, 12th grade is largely taught by Mrs. Summer Tate. So if Ms. Tate is on the line.
I am. Hello,
All right.
hello. Yeah, so I teach AP Literature and Composition. I also teach a year-long literature and comp. One is all virtual, and then I have my hybrid courses. Just like Mrs. Flaherty had noted, it's very important. I told my students actually today, I teach 5 days a week. I might only see them 2, but they are to be online with me during class time at that time. I still have students interacting online with students that might not be face-to-face by answering questions, having Socratic seminars. So they might not be in the room, but they are definitely communicating through different means of the Google Classroom. Our unit this year is majority of social justice. So your students should be talking to you about a lot of the things that are happening in our current events, talking about history and some of the wonderful books that are in our curriculum now. Right now in 12th grade, we have just started the novel Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates, which has some very, very interesting topics to it. Please ask your students about this book. It is a very, very vital book to our unit and really to where our world is right now. I look forward to talking with you guys. Please do not hesitate to email me if you have any questions or concerns.
Thanks, Ms. Tate. I have just received a message from Miss Nancy Otter. She's having technical difficulties with her microphone, but she is listening in with us. She asked me to just mention that she is teaching one section of English 1, section of creative writing as an elective, and then the capstone course for seniors. Capstone, briefly, is a long-term, in-depth research project where seniors get to pick a topic that is interesting to them, and then do a lot of rigorous research and write a extended paper presenting their thesis on the topic that they researched. I've had the pleasure of sitting in on several presentations at the end of the semester where students present their research, and it's really an impressive way to kind of round out their careers at HMTCA and in the English department as well. Unless I'm forgetting anything, I think I'll turn it over back to you, Hannah.
Okay, thank you very much. So next department up is the math department. So Heather Sharp is the head of the math department, and she will introduce her team.
Hey everyone, again, thanks for joining us tonight. Yes, our math department has grown a little bit this year due to our need for our virtual and hybrid classes. So we have our standard 5 high school teachers, and then we've also added Mr. Oleksenko, who from the middle school is joining us to teach a couple of Algebra 1 classes, and Kelly Pike, again from the middle school as well, to teach some virtual classes for us in Algebra 1. So I'm going to just give a couple things about our department and then let each teacher introduce themselves, and then we will be moving on. The best department in the entire high school is the math department, and we know how to be more brief in our words, succinct and to the point. So here we go. Wednesdays, just like the English department or some English teachers, we're using Khan Academy. That will be an asynchronous learning day. Students should be doing their SAT practice on Wednesdays. That is also the day, the reason why we do that is to reserve for extra help. So what the math department is doing is if your student needs extra help, either the teacher will mandate you need to come for an extra help session, or the student can reach out to the teacher and try to set up that extra help. That extra help will occur like on a Google Meet. So they will be sent a link to set up that extra help session, whether it's 15 minutes, a half an hour, whatever needs to be the case. And that's a really good opportunity to get that one-on-one connection with the teacher, because again, as you're looking at even a Zoom, it's very hard to make a personal connection when you don't always see faces and you don't always hear voices. We have been doing our math workbook distribution like crazy yesterday and today. We also have time tomorrow, I believe 1 to 3:30, I believe is the time. It's definitely in the afternoon tomorrow. Our workbooks for Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Geometry and Data, and College Ready Math are all available. The textbooks for trigonometry, calculus, and pre-calculus are all available as well, and students should be picking them up if they're virtual students. If you are a hybrid student or a 9th grader, you have already received all your materials. All right, so at this point, I'm just gonna kind of move through the different people in our department. So I'm gonna start with Mr. Olson. So if he wants to give the classes that he teaches.
Yep, thank you. Hi, everyone. Nice to see everyone who's here. My name's Max Olson, Mr. Olson. I teach a whole different collection of classes. So I have a virtual calculus class, which is primarily seniors. I teach a 12th grade college-ready math class, which is a hybrid course. So I see students either Monday and Tuesday or Thursday and Friday. I teach a virtual honors algebra 2 course, which is all freshmen. I teach an in-person Algebra 1 class, and I teach a virtual transition algebra class, which I'll just speak quickly about that one. That's just pretty much an algebra support class where students get a chance to review all the different math that was taught in middle school, but in a different way. It uses a lot of manipulatives and visual type learning. It would be hands-on if we were in person. We're doing our best to make it as attainable as possible for everyone. Like Ms. Sharp said, on Wednesdays I'm available for any student who needs help. I have a whole bunch of meets I do with students. I meet them 30 minutes, maybe an hour at a time. I mandate some of them to come, like Ms. Sharp said. Others have asked me, but if you ever have any questions for me, my email's right there. Feel free to send me an email and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Back to you. Thank you.
All right, next we have Sean Healy.
Hello guys, my name is Sean Healy. I teach trigonometry virtually, geometry both hybrid and virtually, as well as AP statistics. Kind of the same spiel as everyone else. I mean, Wednesday is definitely the extra help day, so if any of your students, your children need extra help, please email. I am always available by email, call. It's all my information is on the top of the syllabus, which every student has access to because every one of my students is in Google Classroom. So any important thing is always on Google Classroom, and always just make sure you are contacting me with any questions. Thank you.
All right, we'll move on down to Nick Hudima. Mr. Hudima.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nick Hudima. I teach transitions algebra like Mr. Olson, along with Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. Same as the other two that you just heard. Wednesdays are a great extra help day. If your young adult needs any help with anything, my email's right there. And they also have contact information through Google Classroom as well. Look forward to working with you all this year.
All right, Mr. Oleksenko.
Hello, my name is Mr. Alexenko. I teach Algebra 1 class and also I teach robotics at this school. So I'm new to high school math department, but I'm not new to Hartford Magnet, right? This is my 16th year in here. I used to be a middle school teacher, but I taught Algebra 1 for many, many years. So I must tell you that I have both like online classes and in-person classes. An important thing for parents to know, even if I'm absent, I'm still teaching my classes online. So it's very, very important that your child logs in to Google, actually Google Meets live each time there is a class, right? Whether I am at school or I'm not at school, right? So, and again, attendance is very important. I do my live sessions and it's most important part of a class. Now also, there is always something to do in my class. Even if there is no homework, this class has something called Mathia. Mathia is a online version of Algebra 1, is like supplemental program, and it's a big part of a grade. So in case if there is nothing to do, there is something to do. Mathia is essential part, so if students have extra time to practice, that's something they have to concentrate on. All right, that's about all I had to say. Nice seeing you.
All right, Ms. Pike, I'm not sure if she's on this call. Is Mrs. Pike there? All right, then we'll round it out with our last member of our department, our newest member, Ms. Skinner.
Hey, everyone. Can you guys see me?
Yes.
Heather? Yes, you're okay. So I teach, along with everybody else, I also teach Algebra 2, hybrid, geometry hybrid, TTA that Mr. Olson spoke about, also hybrid. And then I have one section of calculus that is in person. Something that I utilize in addition to Khan Academy, which the other math faculty spoke about, is Delta Math. And so in Delta Math, students are able to work on problem sets. They're also I'm able to upload my own videos within that program, and I can chart their progress of how much they've watched. And so that's a really useful technique with our students having to learn at home also in the hybrid model. All of my contact info is on Google Classroom, which you have access to, and so do your kids. Definitely feel free to reach out if there's any like technical difficulties and if you're still adjusting, if your kid's having trouble logging on or anything like that. So it's really great to meet all of you, and I'll turn it back over to Heather.
Thanks. I believe I was remiss in telling you, I also teach honors pre-calculus. I teach Algebra 2, and I also teach the College Ready Math course. And just one more thing for our entire department, to say it on behalf of everybody, and I know other departments have already said it, but it's so important that our kids are checking their Google Classroom on a regular basis. I joked with my students like, hey, check it as much as you check your social media, your Instagram, your Snapchat, whatever it is. They should be checking on a regular basis because it is the way that we are communicating, especially if they're fully virtual or even if they're hybrid, because again, every single day is a school day. Whether they are physically in the building or they're at home, there's absolutely 100% work that they should be completing on a daily basis. So keep them on board with us and they'll do all right. All right, I'm passing it back to Hannah.
Okay, our next department is the science department. So Angie Kam is going to introduce her whole team and we'll go from there.
Hi there, I'm Angie. Nice to meet you guys tonight. Our science department has grown a little bit today. So with us today, I'm pretty sure we just have a few. Dave Capozzi, he's one of our biology teachers. Dave, do you want to jump in and say hi? Where'd he go? Is he? I know I saw him. Okay, well, anyways, Dave is one of our hybrid teachers. He has 2 hybrid classes, bio and an honors bio, and he also has a virtual class as well. So, and let's see here. I also am a biology teacher. I have 3 sections of biology. 2 of those are hybrid, and one of those is he there? I don't know if that was him.
I failed to unmute myself.
Oh, so you're talking to, yeah, that happens.
I was talking to myself and my cat. So I teach 2 sections of biology, one of which is hybrid, one of which is fully virtual. I teach a section of honors biology that is hybrid. The regular is what you'd expect: cell biology, ecology, genetics, evolution. The way that I'm teaching it is to try to make sure that the kids are learning the content by exploring it in the context of relevant situations involving public health, and many times the intersection of public health and social issues. Rather than just this sort of, learning the content, they're learning it hopefully with real meaning.
Wonderful. Mr. Lewis is one of our longtime teachers, been at HMTCA a while. I think he is coaching soccer over at Trinity tonight. But Mr. Lewis has 2 sections of integrated science that are hybrid, and 1 that is a virtual class. Mr. Lewis is also our beekeeping teacher. So if anyone's interested in honey, I know there's plenty of honey to go around. So if you're interested, you can email him and he can hook you up with some honey. One of our new teachers to the high school this year is Dr. Thomas Longyear. He is completely all virtual. He has our virtual physics class, our virtual biology class, and a virtual integrated science class. And, he's doing that, here on school, but he's teaching virtually. We also have Dr. Martina McCrory is here today. Doc, do you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. McCrory, and I teach 1 section of virtual introduction to chemistry, in 1 section of hybrid chemistry, and 1 section of hybrid honors chemistry. Whether the students are remotely learning or in person, we do have laboratory instruction once a week. So it is very important that students are present so that they can participate in lab. It's difficult to redo those labs and make those up, and it's a big important part of the course to put into application those things that we have studied. Also, it's a math embedded course, and so it's important that your students do have access to a calculator, pencil and paper, that they can work out problems so that they can take pictures of them and insert them into Google Classroom to share to get credit, because it's kind of difficult to do a lot of math typing into the computer. So we're finding different ways to do it. Again, the grading is 70-30, and it's important for your students to log in every day to Google Classroom. Although we only meet hybrid, the work doesn't stop, like my colleagues have alluded to earlier. I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Doc, for reminding us that. And then finally, we have our computer science teacher, Mr. James Vasescus. I know he has a further link that he wants to share with you.
No, that's okay. But I'm going to have to disagree with my colleague, Heather Sharp. They're not the best subject. They're the most important subject because computers are math, but my subject's the best subject because it ties all the subjects in the building together. Science, right? It's the words in there. It is a language to learn programming. It also helps you with English, because if you build an app, you got to be able to sell it and present it. So you need all the skills of all the classes. So computer science ties it all together. But I teach 2 sections of AP computer science principles, which also, if your child is 10th through 12th grade, they can also possibly get credit through Capital Community College. So they have a dual chance there to actually get college credit. We changed the AP Computer Science A class to a Intro to Programming with Python, just because we need to get some more language-based programming before we take our kids to the next level. But that's also through Amazon, and students who do well, especially next year with Computer Science A, can win a $30,000 scholarship through Amazon. Also, I teach Exploring Computer Science, which every student in the building should take. It was designed out of Los Angeles. It's designed to give every kid an introduction to computer science because no one's taken it before they actually get to high school. So it gives them that little introduction. And then I teach an intro to the programming class too as well to also get kids involved. So thank you.
All right, thanks, Jim. Hannah, back to you.
Okay.
Like I'm doing a news report.
I know.
All right, so next department is social studies, and Mel Kavanaugh is going to introduce her department.
Hi, good evening. Mel Kavanaugh, Social Studies Department. And I apologize, I literally just turned on my camera. I just came from school. I also coach volleyball. We did not fare as well as the soccer team, but go soccer team, and love my girls on the volleyball team. Excuse me, I teach US history. I typically teach AP US history, but not this year. And also psychology this semester. I teach one virtual psychology class, and I teach 2 in-person US history classes, as well as an in-person psychology class. I just want to reiterate what my colleagues have said. It is so, and I said the same thing, check your Google Classroom the way you check your Snap. You know, we got to get into that habit. Just because they're only with me, if they're hybrid, my freshmen are with me 5 days a week, but if they're with me 2 days a week, then those 3 other days that they should be working. Try to keep it brief. I think I saw Miss Avery and Mr. Joseph, and I know Mr. Leonard was still in the gym when I left, and I'm not sure about Miss Thomas, so I'm going to pass it over to Miss Avery.
Thanks, Mel. Hello, everybody. Welcome to your first virtual open house. So I'm Deb Avery, and I have been at HMTCA almost since we opened. I teach 3 different classes this year. One is a hybrid AP Government and Politics, which is pretty relevant. It's a really quick-paced college-level class, so if you have a child in that class, please make sure that they're keeping up with the workload, or you're communicating with me if there's an issue. In addition to that, I also teach a 20th century world history class, and that covers all grade levels. There's a variety of students in there. I teach 2 hybrid classes of human rights and 1 virtual class of human rights, also an extremely relevant topic. And if I could put one more plug in, I coach 2 clubs. One is Model UN and the other one is Mock Trial. And so if you know that your child has an interest in any of those areas, please feel free to reach out and contact me. And most importantly, everybody, please make sure you're staying safe and staying healthy. Thank you.
Ms. Kavanaugh, do you want Mr. Joseph or?
I thought Mr. Joseph was here, but maybe I didn't see him.
He's here, 'cause I got to see him somewhere on the screen, and I was excited because he's not at school.
I know, me too. I was scrolling really quickly when I got on my computer. I'm sorry, guys.
Mr. Joseph, are you still here? There you are. I see you.
Yes, I am. Good evening, everybody. And I'm Bob Pierre Joseph. I teach social studies at HMTCA. And I do appreciate the math department and also Mrs. Vasescus in computer science. But the best department is actually social studies, history department. You know, those who fail to learn the lessons of history are doomed to repeat it. All right. I teach 20th century world history, 2 sections virtually, and also 2 foundations of government classes. So we do talk about, actually in all 4 of my classes, we do talk about current events, what's happening politically, particularly with this election. So in the foundations of government classes, kids got to learn how our 3 branches of government work. And right now they're learning about the political philosophers from the Enlightenment who've had a huge impact on the creation of our Constitution. So you see them asking you about questions about the state of nature, chaos, John Locke or Thomas Hobbes. Yeah, do talk to them about those philosophers and share with them your knowledge about government and human nature and so forth. Well, that's all I have.
I don't think Mr. Leonard made it, so I think that's all we got. Back to you, Hannah.
Thank you. Okay, so our next department is the World Language Department, and Jen Augsburger is the head of that department, so she will introduce the rest of the World Language teachers.
Thank you. My name is Jennifer Augsburger, and I am the department chair for our World Language Department. Currently at HMTCA, we're offering 2 different languages. We offer Chinese as well as Spanish. There's also the ability to take other languages on our VHS program. So I'll just start with what I teach. This semester I'm teaching Spanish 1, Spanish 3, Spanish 4 honors. All of our Spanish curriculum is done online. So we have an online platform that matches with the curriculum that we do live in the class. So all the assignments can be found on the Google Classroom. We also have another platform called Nearpod that we are getting used to this year. It's a great resource that we were given for online teaching. So we are just kind of experimenting with that, learning how to use that. And so we're using that as a secondary resource to help with some of the online speaking and listening type exercises that we need to have in a classroom. I can introduce Sarah Megalis. Are you here?
Hi, yes, I'm here. I'm Sarah Megalis. This semester I am teaching Spanish 2 and Spanish 2 honors. I'm teaching 2 virtual classes and 1 in person. As Ms. Augsburger said, all of my assignments are posted in the Google Classroom. In addition to that, I am too experimenting with the Nearpod platform, in addition to the Realidades program, which is our online textbook as supplemental material. If you have any questions or concerns, please be sure to reach out and contact me.
Okay. Next I can introduce is Mrs. Maria Martinez Rodriguez, who teaches in the middle school as well as in the high school. Are you here, Maria? She was here. I don't know if she's on
Yes, I was trying to unmute myself. Hello, everybody. My name is Maria Martinez. I teach, like Mrs. Augsburger said, I teach in the middle school, 7th and 8th grade, and I also teach in the high school. Last year, in the year before, I was mostly in the high school. This year, I'm doing both. So in the high school, I'm doing Spanish 2. I'm teaching Spanish 2 and Spanish 3. And it's very important, like Ms. Magalhaes said and Ms. Augsburger, we are using Realidades, which is the platform that we use when our students are in person as well. So I have 2 groups. One is in person and combine it with hybrid, and then another class completely on distance learning. It's very important for my students to check their Google Classroom. Everything is there. I always tell them, if you need any help, please email me. It's the best way to reach me. It's also very important to join the Google Meet because, you know, in world language, we teach grammar. So it's very important for them to practice with me, to be able to see the explanation when I go over the grammar, when I use the vocabulary. So it's very, very important for them to be in the Google Meet and also be doing the work, even though they're not in class at that moment in person. It's very important for them to be engaged in their Google Classroom. That's all I have.
Okay, and the last person I'd like to introduce is Dr. Lau, who is our Mandarin teacher. Dr. Lau, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I am the Spanish and Chinese teacher. This year I teach Spanish 3 honor. I did everything all other Spanish teachers do, so I will not repeat. As for Chinese, I also loaded all the classes in the Google Classroom. I also download a lot of video, audio, so students can learn speakings. We sing a lot of songs. The class Chinese grammar actually is easier than most people think, and it's the character. But character is just like drawing the pictures, so it's actually pretty fun. And I hope the parents would explore it, and maybe you will find your kids really would like to take the third language, and it will be really an interesting class. Thank you.
That's it for world language. Thank you.
Okay, so now I get to introduce the last department, which as the MC of this whole event and the actual real best department, because it's my department. So we have really two team leaders because we have a middle school half and a high school staff of support services. So Carlos Morero is the middle school team leader and Sonia Timbro is the high school team leader, and she will introduce all of us.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sonia Tamburo. And just to set the record straight, as everyone's arguing about the best department, I'd like to just let everyone know that the support staff is clearly the best department. It is because of us that we allow these kids to go to classes, and we make them teachers in their classes. So kudos to the support staff. So I'm Sonia Tamburo. I am one of the school counselors in the high school, and I work with students last names A through L, and half of the M's depending on where they their names end. Myself and Hannah Kaiser work with students in terms of academics, career, personal, social items. And in such a trying year for all of us, we're here to help support your children and navigate school and life. And we're here to listen and to guide and to help them through. So please feel free to reach out to us because we want to help as much as we can. I'm going to now introduce my other half of the counseling department, so Hannah Kaiser, and she can talk about her role.
So Sonia and I really do the same thing. We truly just split the kids in half alpha so that we are able to stay with them for 4 years, which is good for some of them. Some of them might prefer that not happen. The only thing I think that I just want to mention is that we both have a Google Classroom. So all of our kids, so my 9th through 12th graders should be in my Google Classroom. Same for her half. And I'm making a senior only Google Classroom, which will, for the seniors, we have senior planning night next Wednesday night, same location, AKA Zoom. So put that on the calendar, please, if it's not already. And the only other thing I just really want to say is we are as good as the information that we have. So if you need anything, truly send me an email so that I can help.
Thank you. The other half of team leaders, our first support staff, is Mr. Carlos Morero, and I'm going to turn it over to him.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carlos Morero, and I'm the social worker and team leader for our middle school and high school now. So I'm supporting all students from 6 to 12 and supporting students who have a 504 plan or an IEP plan. So if they have services already with me, I will be providing them services, or if you have a child that's in a regular education program that might need some support, I could see them up to 3 times with consent and continue moving forward. This is a very difficult time for all of us. We are all stretched thin, students included, but at the same time, we are here and we're united to support our students as a whole, and that's our goal. And we'll continue to do that by providing multiple supports and, letting you guys know about the protocols that are coming or any changes that we might have. And we'll continue to communicate that through email, or you could always give us a call. But I'm really excited to work with all of you and your children and continue to help them move forward and past through everything that's going on. Thank you very much for letting me speak tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Gray, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much, Sonia. I'm Corey Gray, social worker for the whole building. I would like to say that we're like the heart and soul of the building. Everything social and emotional go through us. Anything's trauma that's going on with the family and the kids, we like to see them and try to help out the families. Any resources you guys might need as well, we would try to help you guys the best way we can and be a support to you guys, because once again, you are family to us, and I would like to echo that because we need to help you guys so that our children can thrive within this difficult time. And that's all I have right now, but thank you very much, Hannah. Back to you.
And new to HMTCA this year, Miss Latasha Hewitt. Miss Hewitt, are you here? She might not be here. She is also one of our social workers in the high school. So please feel free to reach out to any of us, and we are here to help support your child through their high school career and through as they navigate all the obstacles that are being thrown at them this year. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so in terms of departments, that is it. Okay, so
I'm sorry. I wanted to mention the special education department. Miss Thurkelson, are you here? So we have 3 support staff for the special education teachers, Miss Christine Thurkelson, Mr. Blaze Brescia, and Miss Gina Frazo. Are the 3 of you, any of you here tonight? Okay, well, they are available and they work with our special education students, and they case manage any of your children who may be through special ed, so feel free to reach out to them. Thank you. Sorry, Hannah.
No problem. So this is for the most part, the comprehensive ish list. I'm using the ish at the end because we do have some middle school teachers that are doing remote classes. And the only other thing that I just wanted to mention that I was remiss in mentioning earlier, in the high school, we have 3 team leaders similar to in the middle school when there were team leaders. So the 3 team leaders have stars next to their name. So Alyssa Brauman, myself, and Heather Sharp are the 3 team leaders. Heather's the head of the math department. And Miss Brauman, where are you? Because I did want you to just say something really quick about VHS, because you are a key holder to all of that. And I realized that we didn't say that.
I am here. I'm Alyssa Brauman. I manage the virtual high school program at HMTCA, where our students can be enrolled in any of over 200 courses. Most of the time they get to select the course that they do take. This year, that's not always the case due to the strange way we're having to do school. So I do have a lot of students taking required courses for graduation. There are students taking courses through APs that we cannot offer physically in the building. There's health classes. There's all sorts of things that they could take through there based on need and credits for graduation. This is a fully distance learning platform. They've been in schools for 27 years already. So VHS platform is a really solid foundation, and the kids tend to really enjoy this.
So if you need anything that is not specific to a class or whatever the case may be, you can always reach out to either Alyssa, myself, or to Heather if you need anything. And with that, my duties, I believe, as MC are over. So I'm going to toss it back to admin, to Mrs. Goldstein and Ms. Lalama, so that they can wrap us up for the night.
Mrs. Lalama, would you like to contribute any words of wisdom before I close this out?
No, just again, your kids are great. I'm just really impressed with our oh, I'm sorry, I turned my video off there during the presentation. No, just again, you know, how much your kids impress us every day, and how much each one of us want to be there for them and help them through this high school journey. So as we reach out, please reach back and encourage your kids to work closely with their teachers for their success. Thanks.
Great. Yes. So just to close, I want to say a big thank you to all of our teachers and for every department for being the best department in HMTCA, for the amazing work, and that you can see the synergy, right? When you combine the power of each individual, the sum is much greater than the individual parts. if I said that right, Ms. Sharp, or in the math department. But I think that is definitely true for our school. So, and the parents, you are amazing partners to us. So I want to give you major kudos for assisting your student, for getting them to school every day, and for helping them to be, get the most out of each day and each year. Remember that safety is our number one important priority. So please, again, if your child is not feeling well, I know many of us grew up in the days of muscling through and showing up maybe with much more than a sniffle. I know I was one of those kids. This is not the year for that. So thanks for keeping them home. I do want to say a couple of things about the communication that you had gotten previously regarding COVID positive, without getting too deep in the weeds. We'll spend more time on that at a PTO meeting or at another time. But I do want to let you know that the precautions that are being taken, that I don't want to have any misconceptions that COVID has been transmitted within our school. That is not the case. When we hear of a student who has been in our building who then reports to us, thank you for reporting that there is a positive test result, that the contact tracing happens automatically from there, and that we're doing everything in our power as a staff, not coming to school sick, for you also not doing that, and then wearing masks, keeping hands clean, and maintaining our social distance the way our seats are arranged in the classroom, and also when we are out and about. And with those things, we're feeling good that we're doing what we can to maintain that safety. So thank you. And again, we can spend more time on that at another meeting in the near future. I did make a very quick poll because I appreciate there was a lot of listening happening. So let me see if I can pop it up. It's anonymous. It is a 2-question poll. I believe the results are going to show up for us. So let me see if I can launch it and just kind of see where we're at and get that from you. So if you can you see the poll?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
So we just want to know, like, how do you think the start of the school year is going? Be honest, it's anonymous. And also, what's most important to you about this school year, as well as what grade are your children? And I could have put that first, but let's see what we come up with as answers, just as a collective group. There's no right or wrong answers, and you can check off as many as what's important to you in that group. So please do answer those questions, and then we'll end the poll and we'll see how we turn out. So we'll give it another like 15, 20 seconds. I appreciate your participation. And we'll do other polls too. So we're just trying a new way. So I am going to end the results, and let's share them, and let's just see where we're at, just for fun. Can you see the poll results? Okay, so let's start with the third. Okay, so third question is, most of our parents are coming, have first year 9th graders. So thanks for showing up, and thanks to our parents of our older students as well. And interesting to see that many of us, our safety and staying on track academically is important. Great, so we're really adjusting to that. And we appreciate that it has been a rough start, but glad to know that things are going well, all things considered, right? So we will be following up to see how we can do better. And with that, I want to say, remember that we are HMTCA strong. We are a team family, and we value and respect and want to honor you and your children as in every way that we can. So thank you again, and we'll be sending out more communication as well as a link to the recording of this meeting. So good night, everybody.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Night.
Hi, Nico. Hi, Nico.
What's going on?
How are you?
Hi, Nico.
Hi,
Nico. You're like a local celebrity, Nico.
I am.
Nico
I'm like the mayor.
Lenny Jr.
College boy.
Oh, we miss you.
He's all grown up. Oh my God.
I heard you're driving though.
Yeah, stay off the road.
The car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I started
Don't
biking.
about getting your insurance correctly from Consumer Math.
Good night, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Nice to see you, Nico.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I'm gonna sign us out now. Good night. Thanks again. Okay.
Good night.